Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The month of May has passed, and certainly it was a very interesting month of May for me. While I've announced bigger events, I didn't get to do a state championship in the month, and college events had been over, but I still got to announce some interesting events and had some other events take place that certainly had an effect on me during this month of May. And while this year marked the first year I didn't get to do the boys volleyball state championship at the high school level, on May 8th, the first day of the boys volleyball tournament, I got to announce the last Dakota Ridge baseball home game that this man would ever coach, Jeff Legault. And Legault went out, at least on the home side, on top, as it was a tough game with Pomona, and Dakota held a precarious 6-5 lead in the sixth inning. But a line drive to Sam Weber, the third baseman for Dakota, that he turned into an unassisted double play, kept Dakota in front, and a 2-run home run by Mitchell Lee gave the Eagles of Dakota Ridge the breathing room they needed for an 8-5 win. 2 days later, I got to announce Coach Legault's last regular season game against these guys, the Golden Demons in Golden. And Dakota, having used a lot of pitching in their game against Pomona as well as the next day against Littleton, admitted they were kind of tired, and Golden got their bats going and picked up a 9-0 win. Golden also used their ace, Sawyer Brinkman, to get the win, and Brinkman pitched like every bit the ace he is, going 6 scoreless innings before Brody McBroom, son of Jackie McBroom, closed the game out on the mound. And that gave Golden had clinched league the previous day, but this win over Dakota Ridge in the regular season finale, for all intents and purposes, secured a regional tournament at Golden High School. Coach Legault hoped his Eagles would make the playoffs, and said a couple days later at the banquet they were too good not to, and Jackie McBroom, the Golden coach, wanted Dakota to get in, but wasn't to be. Dakota was one of the first teams out, I believe might have even been the first team out a few days later. Tough break, but does happen, and still, though, glad I got to do two of Coach Legault's last 3 games, including his last home game and in what proved to be his last game ever, period. As he moves on to be the athletic director, and Coach Legault, the man responsible for getting my career going, and the man responsible for the Devin Robb press box named after yours truly. The month of May continued to be a whirlwind of events, as on the 13th, I announced my alma mater, Dakota Ridge's quarterfinal lacrosse game against Telluride, and this isn't a picture from that game, but just a picture of Dakota Ridge boys lacrosse, and the Eagles jumped out to a 4-0 lead. Telluride stayed competitive, though. They got within 6-4 in the third quarter. But then Dakota stepped up, opened up a 9-4 lead, cruised to a 9-6 victory to advance to the semifinals. Then on May 17th, I announced Golden hosting its regional tournament. 4 teams involved, single elimination. And as the first game was wrapping up, a tight 6-5 win by Pueblo South over Glenwood Springs to put Pueblo South in the regional title game later in the day, I learned that Dakota Ridge had beaten Evergreen 13-9 in the state semifinals, so Dakota Ridge boys lacrosse was going to advance to its first ever state championship game. Later that day, Golden played their 2 games in the regional baseball tournament, and Golden left no doubt in the first game they played, beating Longmont 15-0. In the regional title game against Pueblo South, bit of a shaky start for Golden. They fell behind in the first inning, but before too long, Golden took a 3-2 lead and held that into the 5th inning, and then Golden broke it open with 7 runs. And if not for a good play by the Pueblo South third baseman, it might have been a mercy rule win for Golden. A 10-run team with a 10-run lead after 5 innings was awarded the victory in high school. Still, Golden picked up the 10-2 victory and won its 4th straight regional title. This is a photo of the team after the game, taken by my buddy Dennis Ploys. So for the 4th straight year, Golden would advance on to the regional championship game, or to the state tournament. They won the regional championship game. 4th straight year, Golden advanced to the state tournament. Let's move up 2 days now to May 19th and take a look at this. Dakota Ridge Boys Lacrosse, my alma mater, won the state championship, beating Air Academy 12-7. And though I wasn't at this game, I was at home having dinner when I found out about this, but certainly my heart was full when I found out Dakota Ridge Boys Lacrosse had won state, the first ever boys lacrosse state title for the school. And fun night, May 19th, and as you see Principal Kim Keller in there, there's she is, there's Dak Ricky's in there, the head coach, and guy on the far left here, a friend and mentor of mine, Matt Heckel, who got to go out on top. He is retiring as athletic director. That's why Jeff Legault's taking over. But another guy who played a big part in my career getting going. Really cool to see him go out on top. I've met Dak Ricky a couple times. Fine coach, fine guy to be around, and as is his sister, who I used to work with at softball. His sister Demi. Fine group of guys, and certainly a well-earned state title. Our relationship with Dakota Ridge has never been better, and a fun night to see Dakota go out with a state title. And here's another picture of Matt Heckel with a lot of his teaching buddies at graduation. Matt, who was a coach for girls basketball and football, an assistant when I was in school there, helped get me hooked up with Chaz. Went to bat for me if somebody didn't like my announcing or something I did. Just a fine guy I'll certainly miss. But I don't know, we'll keep in touch. I'm still buddies for sure. As I got to go to his retirement party, got to go to the Legacy of Champions. Fine event, and although he's an athletic director, unlike players, say John Elway, Peyton Manning, Ray Bork, to name a few, Heckel went out on top when Dakota Ridge Boys Lacrosse won the state championship in his very last event as AD. I turn the page now to May 24th, and these guys, the Golden baseball team, after having won their first 2 games in the state tournament, double elimination, met Windsor. And while I was at my cousin's daughter's graduation party, I was looking at my Twitter feed and saw Golden was trailing Windsor 10-5 in the 4th inning, and they were in a lightning delay. I thought, uh-oh, this doesn't look great. But like the personality of Jackie McBroom and really the team as a whole, they did not panic. They fought back, took a 12-10 lead late in the game, and then held on for a 12-11 victory. And that victory over Windsor meant Golden was the only undefeated team left in the double elimination state tournament, and they would be playing for a state championship the next week. And on I go to the next week. Just 2 days before this video is being taped and should be uploaded, this is the 8-man football all-state game. And this is the South team in the blue jerseys getting ready to take the kickoff to begin the second half. They took on the North team. The 8-man Colorado all-state football game at Gilpin County High School. And although he couldn't be there this year, my friend Lance Wint got me this opportunity. And the support staff at Gilpin County, Coach Dave and a guy named Paul Hansen and another coach named Joe, and the head coach of the team, Craig Ball. Coach Ball is everybody calls him, were very complimentary, said I did a great job and nice enough to keep inviting me back. Certainly a big opportunity for me. And by the way, Team North won this game over Team South 36-0. Tough note there, but just figured mention that note as game featured 2 lightning delays, an interesting event to say the least. Also not pictured here, the 8 new coaches went into the Coaches Hall of Fame for 8-man football. Fun time for sure. On my way up the hill to Gilpin County, it's about an hour from where I live and about 3,000 feet higher in elevation. I kept up with Golden in the state championship game on my X Twitter feed and saw Cheyenne Mountain beat Golden, and the Demons' ace Sawyer Brinkman 5-2 in 8 innings in the first game, so that meant Cheyenne Mountain and Golden each had 1 loss. And a winner-take-all state championship game was going to take place. Well, in that winner-take-all state championship game, Golden held a tight 2-1 lead in the 5th inning and then got 3 runs in the 5th, including a 2-run triple by Liam Leffert. And, well, here it is. Golden held on for that 5-1 victory over Cheyenne Mountain to win their first state championship in baseball in 22 years. Back in 2003, when a future major leaguer named Mark Melanson was the ace of the staff. And now here in 2025, Golden did it, and this was the first time in all my years associated with high school baseball, which goes back to my sophomore year at Dakota Ridge. Some may say a little too long, but that's another story for another time. But still, the point is, in all my years with high school baseball, I'd never been associated with a team that won state until Saturday, May 31st, 2025. And I'm in kind of a coincidence, I guess you could say, from the previous week when Golden had a lightning delay and then eventually came back to beat Windsor to help get them to the state championship game. It was during one of the lightning delays in the 8-man football game that I found out that Golden had won, and my heart was pretty full. I lost my composure. I didn't cry or anything, but I was just amazed, felt really good. For Coach Jackie McBroom and other coaches, John Plonsky, Charlie Stevens, Chad Sigg, Zach English, trainer Jamie Lemieux, and of course players like Jayden Stroop, Luca Casali, Sawyer Brinkman, Tatum Sminson, who got the win in the last game, to name a few. And what makes this all the more special to me is how humble everybody is. Jackie McBroom, after Coach Adam Miller left Wheat Ridge a few years ago, wanted to bring me in, and I told him I had other stuff going on with Dakota Ridge and with Regis University. I couldn't do every game, but he understood. And when something else comes up, he usually understands. Very helpful to me. And then Sawyer Brinkman is easy to get along with as just about anyone. What bit I do see him. Shook my hand after they won the district tournament the past couple of years. The regional, and after the regional, I congratulated Liam Leffert. I ran into him in the parking lot. He said, "Thank you for all you do." And he shook my hand. Just a great group, and put me on a high, made me feel quite proud, as Golden Baseball took the state championship. And again, my first one in all the years. I know I'm just an announcer, still first time I've been associated with a high school baseball state champion. A very interesting month of May, to say the least, when coaches moved up, athletic directors moved on. I continue to get opportunities for big events. Month of May 2025, certainly one I'll remember for a long time. Doesn't take away from all the rough stuff going on in this world right now, but at least provided a nice diversion. Thank you for watching and listening. I know this is over 15 minutes old now, but thanks for staying with me. Talk to you down the road. Good day, everybody.